How quickly we have just started with a new app. A fresh app is live and working for us. Okay, we have been creating a list of features for this whole application. What I want is I want a place to create uh, requirements here itself. Okay, so it like a backlog, feature backlog. Okay, right? We have a big list of features already. What I want, what as the first feature and second feature and like that. Self, I need a feature. Okay, and that's what am going to build right now. So how will I do it? I just said I want to have a feature backlog or a feature request backlog. Okay, so I will first of all create a data type or a category which is called feature request. And then in that feature request, I'll add some attributes like the title. Let's begin with this two attributes, and then we will add more attributes later. Add a new category. So I'll come to data category. Obviously, there are no categories. Out of box, there are no custom categories. So I will add one, and I will name it as feature request. Now, every category shall have a unique ID. Now, from this point onwards, I will use I follow a convention. For category ID, I will always have a prefix. Like in Dr. Uno, I have been using DU underscore for ensuring it is unique. Because when I will have plugins taken from plugin mart of the portal, I may have some same name thing coming, and then it will lead to conflict. Uniqueness is important. Every category in the system has to have a unique ID. Now, for example, Life Uno, I will use LU underscore as the prefix, right? LU underscore. Everywhere I will use LU underscore for the category IDs. And then the next thing is feature underscore request. And I follow this kind of pattern because it is system ID, so it cannot have spaces. It can have capital letters and all that, numbers, everything is allowed, but no spaces. But conventionally, we use a camel case. The ID follows a convention, name doesn't follow convention. However, name, because that will be mostly visible on the UI, you shall have it properly framed. Okay, very simple, easy. And I just start with this and save. Change in category, again the whole reload thing happens, and all that is happening automatically. So I'm making a change here. You will be accessing it again. You will see the latest data coming. As soon as you refresh, you will get the latest data. As soon as I have now created a feature request, I refresh and I will see it as one of the menu items. Feature request has come here as a menu item. Okay, and I click on this and I see the list of feature requests. Obviously, it has nothing right now. I click on plus, it will open the form. But because we have not added any attribute in the definition, it shows me a blank screen. There's one entry, but no fields at all. Looking absurd, right? Okay, so what I will do that now is add the properties that we agreed on, title and description. So I will come back to category, and now this time I will modify or edit the category that we defined earlier. So click on the edit button. Name, ID, name is okay. ID is unchangeable. I cannot change it from now on. And I can change a few things. The primary changes that we generally make is in properties, sometimes in action screens and other info tabs as well. This is the backbone. This is basically the data structure that we are defining here. Okay, so coming to properties, we'll start adding properties. So first property that I wanted to add is title. Now I can give it any name, the ID. but a property with ID as name, small letter NAME. IDs usually we provide small letter camel casing, right? Now here we don't have to prefix it with anything because it is internal thing. We don't have to actually maintain a unique property name or ID of a property. So conventionally, I was saying we shall have a property called name. Why? Because when we want to search the list of entities with of this type frequent sorry feature request, we will type in, right? So that typed content shall be matched with something. Name is a default property with which the matches are done. But if there is no such property, your quick search will never work. A flag, there is a flag where you say, consider this property also for quick search. And how we do that? In the visibility of the property, you can say quick search. And if you do a tick here, it will become, this property will be considered as one of the quick search item. So name is a default quick search property. However, later on, we will see a description. I want to see in description also if my keywords or whatever I type should have a like match in description also for quick search. We can configure that. So we will do that. Okay, so let's begin with name as the property. The only important thing for a property is the name of the property and the ID of the property. Everything else is optional. It starts with the default behavior. So name, I done. And then second one is description, right? Description. Now, I did not put any data type for the previous property called title. Now, description, I just think, well, if I don't put a data type, the default data type is string or default. And default is nothing but an input box. When you see it on the edit form, you will see it as an input box, a typical input box, one liner. But description will generally not be sufficient. A single line input box will not be sufficient for description, right? So I would prefer to specify a different data type other than the default, right? So I need to go to type details and I will say instead of the default or undefined, unspecified, I will say use multi-line or HTML, either way. So let me use HTML. There are other multi-line data types supported, but that is for coding kind of thing where you say JSON and anyway. So HTML or multi-line would be sufficient for description property. And then I thought, well, when I create a feature request, I should have at least title given. I don't want a feature request with both the fields empty, which doesn't make any sense, right? So I shall put check, a required check on title. So I will come back to edit the title property, and then in tab, I will set a validator called required. Okay, done. And then I will put a save, just this. As and when I will make a modification in category and do a save, a reloading will happen. So if the things are reloaded, I will also reload my application here. Otherwise, the latest content will not be available. Now, I see this. I came back to feature request, and here now you see two attributes coming, two properties coming. Earlier, these two columns were not present because we created one entry, but there were no properties given. Now I want to edit this entry. I simply want to save it. No changes. Actually, I have a form and I want to save. Now it is not allowing me to save because it says title has to be provided. Manually typing things, copy and paste from there, and I do a save. Okay, fine. It is done. Now I come back to feature requests and I want to do a quick search. LMS. It matches with this.